It's no secret I never liked taking pictures. Whether I was in them or not, it didn't matter. I just didn't like taking them. It was almost like I didn't want to stop whatever I was doing to take a picture and then continue what I was doing, because it's like, you know, the mood would have been killed, or the momentum, or, you know, whatever you were doing would have been thrown off, and then it's hard to get back to what you were doing. I guess it's because, like, I was the one that had to stop and pose for the picture, or I had to be the one taking the picture, so that's kind of what killed it for me. Like, I've never had someone take pictures of me at an event or anything like that, like how people take pictures of a couple at a wedding, for example. Sure, the couple actually pose for, you know, some of them, but a lot of them are just candid shots or non-setup shots that the photographer takes when people don't even realize. Anyway, I was looking at some old pictures one day and I thought to myself, imagine if I kept every picture I ever took. Like, sure, the amount would be crazy, like even for someone that never used to take a lot of pictures, but imagine if we had the ability to go back in time and save every picture we ever took. Like, I remember this one distinct situation where it was the end of the year in grade 8, so this was summer of 2009. Yeah, and our teacher had told us he wanted to make an end of the year video kind of thing. So, you know, he wanted to just like get footage of people doing stuff, like pretending to do work, playing basketball, eating lunch, whatever middle schoolers do. And I remember he asked me if I could get the footage. So obviously in this case we're talking about a video, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Like, maybe that's what sparked the whole love for video thing, me shooting a video for school all the way back then. But then I guess it just laid dormant in my brain for a decade. But anyway, like, I remember my friend Aaron, he could do backflips, like on like flat ground backflips. And it was one of the sickest things I've ever seen. So I was like, I have to get a video of this guy doing a backflip. And I can fully remember the exact spot where he did it, and it was a cloudy day, and the footage was shakier than an action sequence in a Michael Bay movie. Like, I can fully see it in my head right now. And like, I also remember them playing it at the end of the year assembly thing, like on the projector, and it looked terrible. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I shot an Oscar-winning, you know, movie, but it was pretty bad. Anyway, like, that's one thing that I also kind of regret. I talked about this in my regrets video, which you can watch up here, and essentially what happened was, you know, I started uploading gaming videos on YouTube in 2012 when I was like 15 or 16. Hard to believe that was almost 10 years ago. Like, a lot of people made fun of me at school, and I didn't know how to deal with criticism at the time, so I stopped uploading and I deleted my channel and all the videos. The thing I regret most is that when I stopped making videos and I realized what I could have become, which is no guarantee, but a small kind of side regret that you know, I kind of wish I didn't do is I wish I didn't delete the videos. Like, I could have just made them private so they could still be there, but I was an emotional 16-year-old and I was probably pissed off about people making fun of me. But you know, I guess you could say I didn't know how to channel the energy, so I just deleted all the videos. I wish I kept them so I could look back on them after all these years, you know, see what I was talking about, what was popular at the time, and like other stuff like that. I wish I could access those memories instead of just having them be memories in my head, if that makes any sense. Like, we had numerous digital cameras over the years, and I remember always having to delete pictures to make room for more pictures. Like, I don't think I knew there was such thing as like transferring them to my computer or keeping them on a hard drive or anything like that. I just remember taking pictures, and then we went to an event or something, and we'd have to format the memory card to delete the photos from the previous event to make room for pictures at the current event, and then it just kind of turned into a cycle. It's almost like we took those pictures to look back on them that night or just for the next week, and they basically got deleted. It was weird. But the thing back then is that, you know, memory cards were so expensive. Like, film was just getting phased out and SD cards were like just rising in popularity, I guess you could say. But just like with anything new, like, their price was a huge factor. I don't remember the price of the SD cards that I had back then, but I did find this article from 2004 about a 1 gig SD card, and the suggested retail on it was $500. It had the ability to store more than 30 hours of compressed music, 1,000 high-resolution images, and over 5 hours of uncompressed video. Fast forward almost 20 years later, you can get a 1 terabyte SD card for about $330. Not 1 gigabyte, 1 terabyte, which is about 1,000 gigabytes. So you get almost 1,000 times the storage for less than the price of a 1 gigabyte SD card. Just unreal. I mean, look at gaming consoles. Like the Xbox 360S came out in 2010 with an internal storage of 4 gigs. The Xbox 360 Arcade had 256 megabytes of storage when it came out, and you had to buy a whole new hard drive if you wanted to save anything over the 256 megabytes it gave you. Like, what are you even storing on there? Game updates now are 4 gigabytes. Like, if you wanted any more storage, you had to get the Xbox 360 Elite, which gave you a whopping 120 gigs of storage, and that made it seem like you had, you know, all the storage in the world. My friend Anthony, who has a PS5, said that they only give you like 600 gigs of storage on the new PS5, which came out in 2019 or 2020. I'm pretty sure it was 2020. But most games now are over 100 gigs. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna have 4, maybe 5 games on your next gen console? Like, that's just crazy to me. When I play PS4, like there's probably 5 or 6 games on there on the hard drive right now, and you're trying to tell me that I can't have like access to the games I want to play on my console that I fought tooth and nail for, and I had to pay, what is it, $650 for? Just, you know, unreal. Gaming companies, if you're listening, we need more storage for games because file sizes are just too big nowadays. I think we need a minimum of 1 terabyte. Anyway, enough ranting about how small hard drives are for games. I just wanted to talk about a few more things. I remember back in the day, you know, you had small sizes of storage compared to today. Like I had a green iPod Nano from like 2008 that I used to listen to old Kanye albums on, specifically Graduation. And if I remember correctly, the storage on it was like 16 gigs or something like that. And back then, you know, you could hold thousands of songs. But I feel like now, even with 64, 128, and 256 gig iPhones and tablets and, you know, stuff, we can't hold as much because while the length of the music might not be longer, I just feel like the file sizes are bigger. It's almost like the storage didn't scale correctly with the file size of each song or album, and in this case, especially games. So I guess you could say, you know, in media in general. The reality is that a photograph can make or break something when you really think about it. Well, what do I mean by that? The way I see it, taking a picture is the only way we currently know how to freeze time. No matter how much money you make, you can't go back to that moment a photograph was taken because that moment passed. No matter how much energy you funnel into a single area or a singular point, it can't come back because the moment has passed. It's crazy how much I used to not like taking pictures, but then as most people know, my mom died, and this picture of me and her on the night of my prom was one of the last ones that I took with her, and she forced me to take it even though I didn't want to. But now looking back, I'm very glad that I did. Like imagine you kept every photo you ever took. It would probably take up hundreds of gigs or hundreds of terabytes at this point, but at least you'd have them. It's something to look back on. That's one good thing about technology. It makes storing things so much easier and more convenient. You know, if there's one thing I could appreciate about technology is the ability to store lots of things on a small, you know, hard drive or, you know, something like that. So the reason I'm showing you this box right here is because there are a bunch of pictures in here. Now, let me show you if I can. Like, this box is full. This box is full of pictures, like, you know, from literally from the top all the way down to the bottom. There's like there's albums in there. There's like other, you know, pictures in there from I don't even know what. But yeah, there's like, you know, albums in there. There's like graduation pictures, baby pictures, you know, just a whole bunch of pictures. Probably some people like I don't even know that my mom was just keeping. But you know, I'm willing to bet that if I scan these pictures that I could fit them on like my little hard drive that I have here in my room. So this is my 10 terabyte hard drive right here. And you know, like I said, I'm willing to bet all the pictures from the closet could fit onto this little hard drive, you know, if it had to. So that's one thing that I can kind of, you know, appreciate about technology and, you know, how far we've come in that sense. That's also why things like Google Drive, Dropbox, and iCloud storage are so valuable. Sure, you're paying to store things in the cloud, but you know, all you do now is you just log into an account and all your things are there. If there was a flood at my house or a fire or something like that, or even if the hard drive corrupted for whatever reason, there's a high chance all the things on that hard drive could be gone. Speaking of this hard drive, all my videos are on here. You have the title of the video, you go into the folder, you have your A-roll, your B-roll, thumbnails, and clips. When I said I want to dust off this hard drive in 10 years to see my old videos, I wasn't joking. I have almost every picture I've taken on here since I started photography 2 years ago on this hard drive. I'm keeping everything. You can't put a price on these memories. Say YouTube terminates my channel tomorrow for whatever reason. That's over 100 videos gone, hundreds or thousands of hours of work gone, like just like that. And you know, I have no problem buying these. I got this one for, you know, around $200 for 10 terabytes, but that's a small price to pay to keep hundreds of memories. I also wanted to touch on YouTube just, you know, really quick. The fact of the matter is that I think YouTube is one of the closest things we have to a time machine. You can find almost anything you want to find on YouTube from almost any year because somebody decided that, you know, this should be uploaded for the record, I guess. Want to find a video of LeBron's game winner from 2009? It's there. Want to find footage of when Kanye interrupted Taylor Swift in 2009 at the Grammys, or was it the VMAs or something? It's there. Want to find footage of when Michael Jackson moonwalked for the first time and people had no idea what they saw? It's also there. This whole world of uploading videos and photos online has changed the way we see and consume media forever. And I think it's amazing to see because now there's a record of everything basically. Good things, bad things, memories, works of art, you know, everything. It seems like the only thing left to upload is our consciousness, but I mean, Elon Musk is probably working on that already. So at this point, it's probably just a matter of time. Speaking of which, this video's time is about to end. And as always, thanks for watching.